Hi, I'm Grantley. I'm one of the Subaru salesmen here at Key Motors Subaru. What we're going to go through today is we're going to fit a spare wheel assembly on a Subaru Solterra. So things we require, obviously the spare wheel, the bracket for the tow bar assembly to fit the spare wheel. We need the leveling bar again for that assembly. We have 2 nuts and bolts for the spare wheel and also a spare nut. We also have 2 10mm lock nuts to fit on the number plate assembly, which we'll get off in a minute so we can actually attach the number plate at the back. We also, I've found the easiest is a little ratchet, so ratchet with a few sockets. One is a 10mm socket, one is a 16mm socket, we've got a 19mm socket, and we have a 24mm socket. Also I found the easiest is 2 open end spanners, one 10mm, one 20mm. So our first step is to get the number plate off that, attach it to our number plate symbol. So simply the 10mm socket I found the easiest. Get this off. Comes out. So we can leave these screws actually in, but we need to adjust them from the outside holes to the inside holes. We grab those 10mm little lock nuts and we just fit this on our bracket. So just fit that on the bracket. We grab those little 10mm lock nuts. This will stop it from going loose. We grab our little 10mm ring spanner and we just do those up tight. One, do the other one. Nice and secure. Next step is take the 10mm off. We'll put the 16mm on. We need to take this assembly out, the number plate assembly out. So this is just our lock nut. It's already undone. We just take that out for the moment. Put that aside. As you can see, this is where the spare wheel will go. So third part is we have a what they call an anti-rattle nut down here, which is a 16mm. You can see through there's the anti-rattle. We need to undo that so we can put the actual tongue assembly in. That should be very easy to undo. We need to undo that completely so we can slide the assembly in. Once that's almost all the way up, we can grab our assembly and we can slide it in place. Now, we can plug the trailer plug in. So this will be for the actual light for the number plate. So these little indents go to the bottom. We simply just pull it out, find the right holes, plug it in like that. Okay. Now we need the actual what they call the tow bar assembly. So this one here, we need to undo that. We need to keep the washers on. This is actually threaded. this is probably the hardest part about it, is lining this up with the holes. Okay, so come around that side, we need to stick it in like this, okay? We'll put the threaded bolt on this side, so we actually stick it in there. This is the hardest part of the job, is to line the holes up. So just lined it up pretty close there. We need to push this through, so you can see I'm pushing this through till I can actually see it. And then we actually need to thread this in, so it's a thread. It's not a push in like the normal tow bar assembly. It's actually a thread. So again, this is the hardest part about the job. It's just making sure, so we just gently get it. Once we feel it threaded in, then it's just a matter of threading the whole bolt all the way through. So I'm just using my hand at the moment until we come out the other side. I can feel that's definitely threaded through now. So we're finding it a bit tight now, so that's where the 24mm socket will work. Take the 16mm off, use the 24 on, and we just keep on threading it all the way through. You'll see it come this side, should start coming through. We can grab the washer and the nut. We can just hold that on for the time being. Just with your fingers, totally fine. It's a very long bolt. Spare wheel assembly is very long, so we do need a very high tensile bolt to hold that in. So you can see that now it's all the way through. You need to keep on screwing it because we need to get this bar to one side. So keep on going as far as you can, as tight as you can. Then we need to do that nut up. The easiest I've found, we grab our 24mm spanner. Actually, sorry, no, that's on me. Sorry, it's 24, and we just do that up. So you can see that's very taut, but this is where we need to do the anti-rattle, call it an anti-rattle nut that we undone in the first step. Grab our 16mm again, and now we do that up. So you can see this has got a fair bit of movement, but once we start doing that up, do it up pretty tight, no rattle, no movement, no anything. That's secure. That's all you need to do down there. So our next phase is we need to grab the wheel and we need to put it through this hanging point. Okay, so obviously bend at the knees, grab the wheel up, we have a look through, find that hole. Doesn't matter which hole you get it through, doesn't matter which hole, we hold it there. That spare nut we've got, we just literally put that through. This is already welded in point, so we can literally just finger tight this through. Now that'll hold that on. We don't need to tighten it up. This is where we need these two, so we undo that. So exactly the same as this. We just put this through the back. You'll find 3 holes. We find that hole there, so you can see I've just matched it up there. We put that in, and again we just finger tight this. We don't want to tighten it up right now because we need a little bit of adjustment because we've still got that last nut and bolt to put through. So we'll grab that last one, we'll go around this side. Exactly the same process. We just grab that, put that through, we find the hole, there we go, easy as that. Again, we finger tighten it, or tighten it up as much as you can now that we know we've got them all located. So, got an idea. Okay, now this is where we go. We change from our, that was our 16 mil, we change to our, is it 19 mil? 19 mil. And we need our, this is where we need our 21 mil spanner. So we can just tighten these up. I'm just holding the back at the moment with my hand until we get to the point where we actually need the spanner. So this top one, you won't need the spanner at the back because it is welded, so we can tighten this up as much as we possibly can. Now, there's no torque settings or anything like that, so you can just tighten it up as hard as you think you can. We go to this one. Same thing, I'm just holding it at the back with my hand. That's all I'm doing. We're doing it up as tight as we can, and then you get to the point where that back bolt will be turning, so this is where we use this spanner. We go around the back. All we are just holding that, we're just holding that bolt there. Alright, so once we got it on, we can just do that nut up, okay? There we go. That's that side done up. Go back to the other side. Same thing, I'm just finding the nut, the bolt at the back, and then just doing this one up. That's it. So definitely have that secured. You see there's no movement whatsoever there. So that's the main heavy lifting and everything out of the road. We go back to what we did initially, which is the number plate with the slide. Simply slide that in. Right. We grab the wiring. So the wiring is for your number plate, which legally you need these days. Simply plug it in. There's a little lock tab there. Plug it in like that. That can sit there fine. There's no issues with that. What we need to do, so we've got this slide in, so make sure it just sits out almost parallel. We go back to our 16 mil socket again, and we just need to lock that lock nut back in so it doesn't slide out. So you can just see it in there. Literally, we again finger tighten it, and you can see that's moving that now. And literally just put that socket on. And again, just tighten it. There's no torque specs or anything like that. We just tighten it. It does have a spring washer on it, which will help it tighten up. You can see. There we go. So all done. Obviously, taking it off, exactly the opposite. So exactly in reverse. Do that in reverse. The only things I make sure that you do, literally that's all you need. That's the only tools you need. Perhaps a two-man lift with the tyre. That's probably the only realistic thing, and maybe a two-man lift with the bracket itself. So thanks very much. This is Grantley from Key Motors, your Subaru specialist. Any inquiries, feel free to give us a call or make an inquiry on our website. Thanks very much.